Motorsports. So today what we're going to be doing is, what I'm going to be telling you is how to winterize your ATV. So if you're going to be storing it, you leave it at the cottage type thing for the winter. There's some steps that you have to follow, just so it's easy to start next year and everything works perfect. So the first thing I would like you to do is fill up your tank with 91 octane gas. 91 octane is a high octane. It's really good for the 4-stroke engines, but it's also good for the winter. Next, I would like you to get a bottle of fuel stabilizer and pour some fuel stabilizer into your gas. That'll make it so that the gas doesn't go bad over the winter, and it'll be still nice and fresh for when you want to start in the spring. Next, your oil. Do not change the oil, please. Leave the old oil in there, because at the start of the season, when you first take your ATV out, that's when I want you to change the oil. If you go ahead and do an oil change, your oil is going to be black and dirty again. In the spring, when you want to start fresh again, you're going to have just dirty oil, and you don't want to do that. You might as well start fresh in the spring with nice clean oil. I would also recommend in the spring, when you do your oil change, do a quick engine flush. It will flush out all the sludge from that built up, all that stuff, and it'll make your engine nice and clean. Another thing is, when you're going to be storing these for the winter, if you can, I'd like you to put them up on some sort of a crate or a box so that there's no weight on the tires. So if you can just put it down underneath the frame, just so you can have everything. You don't have to have them completely off the ground, but if you can have the tires so that there's just no pressure sitting on the tire. And I would also recommend that you go ahead and put between 10 and 15 pounds of air in the tires, just so they hold their structure all winter. Some air is obviously going to come out. It's just because the heat and the cold makes air evaporate, expand and contract, and you're going to lose some air in your tires. But definitely try to get something underneath it just to take the weight off the tires for the winter. Another thing I would like you to do is give your chain a good spray with lithium grease, white lithium grease. It comes in a spray can, and it's very sticky, and it will stay on the chain and keep it lubricated and not rust. Another thing I would recommend is white lithium grease. Up at the front here, you're going to see all your tie rod ends and your ball joints, things like that. I want you to give them a quick grease too. It'll keep them very lubricated through the winter. You'll see that this rubber here, all these rubber things, in Canada here, our winters can go down to like minus 45 Celsius. That is cold, and it will crack this rubber just like nothing. So that's pretty well it. Also, remove your seat. This is a very important one. Remove your seat. Take your battery out. Just completely remove it and bring it in the house. A battery through minus 30 or minus 35 weather is instantly, it's just going to crack on the bottom. It's going to freeze and crack. Everything is going to drain out of this battery. It's going to cause damage to the bottom of your four-wheeler, and it's just not worth the hassle of it. Take these batteries in. You can leave them in a nominally heated area, so like your basement, something like that. You can leave a battery in. Another thing is, before you take it out to put it in the spring, give it a good charge before you put it in. All right, so that's pretty well our video for winterization. If you have any questions or anything, leave them in the comments below.